The person who's been ghosted here, look, there he is. He's upset that his mailbox is empty because no one cares about him anymore. I think that there's even a spider inside of there. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. There's a cobweb, spider. He's frustrated. Well, what can he do? And what can you do to not really care if people ghost you anymore? Well, first of all, you're always going to care to some degree. Let's be honest with ourselves. Especially if it's a deeper connection, you will feel pain. You will feel hurt. You will feel the pain. And you have to go through that pain. Why? Because there's learning and growth within the pain. That is ultimately, especially if it has something to do with any sort of like soulmate or twin flame type of connection or whatever. If it's related to that, or if it's not, it doesn't have to necessarily be. There's always something to learn in any sort of situation, especially if it causes a lot of pain. There is growth in the pain that you have. No pain, no gain, as they say, right? So if you don't have the pain, if you don't experience the emotions, how do you expect to learn and grow? That is one of the major aspects when it comes to not really caring if people ghost you. Because the thing is, you will care. You will care. You will feel pain. But if you begin to think, what is life trying to teach me here? Life is teaching me a valuable lesson to learn and grow. Perhaps it's something that you're not seeing. Perhaps it's something that you're not paying attention to. Once you begin to realize it, everything starts to make more sense. So I know for me, with the type of connections that I've had, that these situations that have been very negative, if there's ghosting involved, it takes some time for me to realize what the lesson is. But the lesson has come quicker and more rapid. Like I talked about, various soulmate type connections or twin flame connection, whatever. When a lot of these connections first started being made, when I noticed, it would take me a very long time to learn the lesson life was teaching. I think like the first connection that I really felt, it was like over a year really to really understand why things happened the way that they did, why it was so bad, and what I needed to learn. It took a long time. And then now, recently, when these sort of things have happened, it only takes me a few days now to realize that is what life is teaching me. Life is showing me this. Life is presenting this to me. Sometimes even within the same day. That's how rapid I'm able to understand what life is teaching me. And while I do still feel pain if someone that I'm close to just suddenly stops talking and I don't hear from them anymore, or it takes them, ages to finally reply, because sometimes I'm like, someone ghosted again, it's like a whole month later, but no, they finally end up replying again. It's like, okay, that's a little weird, but okay, okay. So I don't let that affect me as much anymore. And sometimes these are close friends too. It's like, oh, I send you a message, you would look at it, but then it's like a month and a half later, you finally reply to it. It's like, okay, I'm not going to view it negatively anymore. That's not what I'm thinking through my mind. Because that's not really ghosting. It's more, I need to be patient. But if it's ghosting in that you never hear from them ever again, what can you learn? What can you learn in that silence from not talking with them? There is a silence there that you have to learn something. They are teaching you a lesson. Are you willing to learn the lesson? You will care, as I said. Even though you try not to care about people ghosting you, you will care to some degree. But here's what you have to do. You have to be grateful. You have to be grateful for the lesson life has presented you. Why is that? Because when you approach it from gratitude, when you're able to be thankful and appreciate the situation as is, even though it turned negative and was bad, you don't have to view it as bad. Your mind, your ego views it as bad because you were hurt. But life is saying, we're making you the best version of yourself, so this had to happen, so you could feel emotions and grow. I know with the ghosting that I have experienced, the people who have done that have completely changed my life. So I am grateful for them. I am grateful that they ghosted me, because if they didn't, I would not have learned the lesson. Think about that I can be grateful for something like that. You have to be able to be grateful as well, even though it is painful, even though it hurts. You know, these sorts of things happen on a very subconscious level. You meet people, you connect with people, and it's based on where your subconscious mind is. You attract people into your life based on how you are and your subconscious and your unconscious thoughts that go through your mind. Basically, here's an example from my own life. I had so much fear of being abandoned that I would always attract people who would abandon me. And I would be like, why does that keep on happening? Everyone always abandons me. Everyone stops talking with me. It's like, I'm so sick of this. To the point where it made me not want to connect with anyone. Until I got to the point where someone did connect with me deeply, and then they abandoned me. And then I learned a major lesson. I learned a major lesson of, you know what? I can't keep thinking the same way anymore. I have to go down a newer path. I have to change my mind so that I am no longer negatively affected by this abandonment feeling that I had. Once I started to realize that this person abandoned me for that reason, for I can learn and grow and not deal with abandonment anymore, then I started to realize, wow, I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful. Because ultimately, if someone ghosts you and they stop talking with you, you may feel as though, especially if it's a very deep connection, that it's the end of the world. That you will never find anyone as good as them or better than them, but that's just not true. You will find other people who will be far better than them as long as you continue to learn and grow from life and the situation. But if you continue to hide in your shell, unable to learn, you will never learn the lesson. So that is the thing to take away from this, that you will care, you will feel the pain, but if you're grateful and you learn the lesson, you will find other people that are even more meaningful in your life that will help you grow even more and become an even better person.